One of my favorite heroes of all time. Nothing to do with this game, just all time. All time. Since the 90s when that cartoon came out, I have loved Wolverine. So I'm going to do a guide on Wolverine and the Uncanny X-Men as a new player to this game, relatively new, trying to go through the buffs and debuffs. Just what are they? What do they do? How do they affect the enemy? How do they affect me? Let's get to the video.
Everybody loves a hero. People line up for them, cheer them, scream their names, and years later they'll tell how they stood in the rain for hours just to get a glimpse of the one who taught him to hold on a second longer. I believe there's a hero in all of us.
So basically what I'm doing is I have moved from an old game, DC Legends, which is shutting down as of this right now, and moving over to Marvel Strike Force. Now, because of that, I am not necessarily a beginner. I started playing Marvel Strike Force like 4 or 5 years ago and then left it alone. Now I'm going back to it. And there are some things, especially with DC Legends, that I learned that I need to apply here. And part of that I'm doing are buffs and debuffs. I did this video earlier, just full disclosure. I did this video before and I realized I didn't do it well enough. I wanted to do it again. And I'm going to try to mix things up in it, meaning I'm going to start off with Wolverine. I'm covering the Uncanny X-Men. It's probably going to be a 2-part video because I think it's going to go relatively long. And while doing that, I'm also going to try to go through the debuffs. So this is kind of like a quasi-beginner's guide, and this is working on status effects, right? Now, just so you guys know, also part of this full disclosure thing, I am using strikeforce.fandom.com. That is where I'm going to find out the information on the debuffs. There were also some pretty good comments below this page, so I would definitely recommend you going there, checking that out. So if you're very, very new to the game or you still don't know everything about it, then you can go ahead and check these things out here. So let's get right to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go through Wolverine's kit, and while going through the kit, I'm going to check the status effects, and then I'm going to say, okay, well, this is what he does. What does this do? Okay, hopefully I'll cover a lot of the status effects, and if not, the ones I don't cover, I'm just gonna go through manually, but I think it's kind of better to see it alongside a character. So, Adamantium Claws. I have it already at level 6, not level 7 yet. However, it provides 240% piercing and applies bleed. And in war, he gains speed. He has a speed up. So we have like 4 things right there. Now, what is piercing? From what I know, piercing ignores defense. So you're doing 240% damage while ignoring defense. That seems like a plus. Now bleeds. Now everybody knows what bleeds is basically you're gonna lose health at the start of your turn or the start of the character's turn if you have bleeds. Just to be more specific though, take damage equal to the percentage of the source character's damage each turn. So the character's damage, you're gonna take a percentage of that each turn at the start of the turn. And actually they do a good job here where they say the opposite is regeneration. And actually maybe I could just cover it that way. And then regeneration will go down just to check it out. Regeneration is healing by 10% of the source character's max health at the start of the turn. So you got 10% of my character's max health is healed up when I have regeneration on when it gets to my turn. Okay. Love to see it. Now, speed up. Let's just go ahead and get the speed up thing done. Speed up. Increase speed by 50%. Slow is the opposite, which just decreases speed by 50%. All right. Good to know. Okay, cool. So now we're going to go back over here. And actually, one other thing that I should be doing. So damage here is 26,923, so just 27,000, excuse me. And then health is 303,000, okay? So if Wolverine had on regeneration right now, whenever it would get to his turn, if it was just one regeneration that was on him, he gained 30% health. As far as damage, now it says it takes a percentage. It doesn't say what percentage. I'll say 10%. So let's say whenever it gets around to that character's turn, then it would take, and I applied the bleed with Wolverine, it's going to take 2,600 damage, 2,700 damage from that character at the start of their turn. All right, cool. So those stats do matter. And then as far as speed goes, let's get back over here. All right. Speed, 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 speed. Increase speed by 10%. So then Wolverine would go from 117 speed to 128. All right. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we're doing. We'll see what we're doing. And I kind of like doing the video in this style. So apologies if you find this tremendously boring, but I do actually find this helpful for me personally. And getting through all this stuff. So now we also have attack primary target for 250% piercing, which we know ignores defense, and then apply the bleeds. That's at 10% damage at the start of the person who has bleeds turn. Then chain rebound, which I cannot wait to get this to level 7, because level 7 means you rebound chain to 5 enemies. Now at level 6, I rebound chain to 3 to 4 targets to pierce for 90%, or pierce for 90%, and then apply bleed. Also gain 100% crit chance on each secondary target. So you have on every secondary target, I have a 100% chance to crit, or an additional 100% chance to crit. Okay. And then if I upgrade the ability, I'll end up with a plus 150% piercing. So that'll make it 400% piercing. And then a 30% piercing on the secondary target. So that'll equal out to 120. The bleeds, we know, 10% of the damage at the start of that enemy's turn, then 100% crit chance. Okay. And then the chain itself, I mean, I've seen it in action, obviously, because I'm not like new to the game. It just, he bounces around between different enemies. So basically, it's like an AoE attack. So yeah, let's go on next to the next one. Primal Berserker. If the character's health is below 50% gain, and this I said before too, I get so stuck on this because their O's look like D's in this font, and I think it's offense up, and I'm pretty sure it's offense up, but still, like, man, can we get some kind of, I mean, that, unless it's just my eyes, do I need glasses? Anyway, offense up for 2 turns. So let's go ahead. Oh no, I'm gonna go ahead and finish reading the kit. So then attack primary target for 710% piercing, ignore your defense, and then bleeds. If Omega Red is an ally, or Omega Red or Colossus is an ally, always gain offense up for 2 turns. Clear death proof from primary target. So if your primary target has death proof, which is pretty easy to figure out what that debuff does, but just so you know, death proof means that on an attack that would kill that enemy, they end up with just 1 HP. You can't kill them. So, and then this attack is unavoidable and cannot be blocked. So, if you have a target with death proof there, then you can use Wolverine's Primal Berserker and take them out. And then offense up, let's just go ahead and go to offense up right now real quick, which I'm sure the opposite is defense. Oh, it's offense down. I would have said defense up, but I guess no, offense down would be the opposite. That's me just being weird. Increase outgoing damage by 50%, increase focus by 50%, and then the opposite is offense down, which is obviously decrease outgoing damage by 50%, decrease focus by 50%. Now let's go ahead and get back to Wolverine and go to his offense damage. So if we increase that by 50%, that means that we're going to add 13,500 to his damage. That means we're looking at over 40,000 in damage. And if he ends up with offense down, he's going to only be hitting for 13,000 damage. And then focus, so I know. Capability to apply effects to the target. Okay, so this is if you're applying his bleed, for example, if you're applying his, if you're applying a stun, if you're applying any of those other abilities. And then it would also go towards the offensive, the buffs as well. So if you're applying regeneration, for example, onto an ally, or death proof onto an ally, if that focus is up or down, that increases your likelihood to apply, or decreases your likelihood to apply that effect on the target. So it'll increase by 50%. So you have an increased 50% chance to apply those bleeds to the target. And then 50% here would be almost 3.5. So let's just say it's 3,200 or something, whatever, to get that 3,400, excuse me, there. So then you would have 10,200 approximately for focus. And then, of course, the reverse, if it's offense down. Okay, so offense up does both focus and damage. Base damage applied to the target and focus. Okay, and then resistance, while I'm here, I'm going to look. Capability to resist effects. And I'm assuming this is only debuffs because I doubt you want to resist death proof from your ally. Okay, cool. So now we'll get to the crit damage, all other stuff later. All right, so now, as we keep going through the kit, healing factor. On turn, heal for 15% of this character's max health. We already saw that. On death, 5% chance to revive with 50% of the character's max health. Okay. If at least one ally is an Uncanny X-Men, gain an additional 5% chance. 50% chance would be nice. 5% chance to revive. If at least one ally is Weapon X, gain an additional 5% chance to revive. So 15% chance if I'm running him with Weapon X allies. Heal 5% max, so that's a plus 5% max heal there. So he'd be coming back with 55%. When this character drops below 60% health, so then the gate is actually higher, or lower, sorry. Then gain defense up. That looks like a D. Defense up and 2 death proof. Now, let's go to defense up. I think this one might be pretty obvious as to what this status effect does, but decreases incoming damage by 50%. Oh, shocking. And increases resistance by 50%. Not focus, but resistance, meaning that somebody trying to make you bleed, somebody trying to stun you, I have an increased chance of resisting it. The opposite of that is obviously defense down. Increases incoming damage by 50%, decreases resistance by 50%, and yeah, so there you go. That's that debuff. All right, so, all right, okay. I feel like I'm learning a lot. Hopefully you guys are finding this helpful. Now, another part of this, and another big part of Marvel Strike Force, if you are new, are team synergies, which basically is like you want to kind of build your team to have other characters around to activate these other small things in the kit, if Omega Red or Colossus. I do have Colossus, so I'm going to go over to his kit. However, I'm also thinking about this Weapon X thing, because the only Weapon X character I thought of at first was Sabretooth, and I do have Sabretooth. However, Deadpool I do have as well, so I'm just going to right now add Weapon X. Where y'all at? Weapon X. And remove Uncanny X-Men. So Weapon X. Wait a second. Deadpool was part of the Weapon X project, or am I insane? Right? Deadpool was part of that. Okay. I thought. Am I going crazy? He was. Am I? Okay. Anyway, okay. So what I'm going to do is I kind of want to go to Colossus, and I kind of want to go to Sabretooth as well, because I want to keep covering the Uncanny X-Men. I'm going to do Sabretooth first, because Sabretooth was one of my favorite villains of all time, based on that 90s cartoon, really. And basically, also, I don't know if you guys, what age group you're in or whatever, but in the 90s, when it was, you had comic book characters and you were talking about with your friends, there was always like theories and stuff that people had that couldn't really ever be proven, and the writers would never tell you what it was. And one of the theories was that like Wolverine and Sabretooth was Wolverine's father, or they had the same father and they were brothers. And then what was the other one? There was another like theory floating around about how these two were somehow related. And that was all before the Wolverine Origins came out, which was actually in the beginning just like a what if, and then they liked it so much they actually made James Howlett the origin story for Wolverine. But yeah, that was a fun time when you were just sitting there debating like what Wolverine and Sabretooth's relationship was. Anyway, so attack primary target for 300% damage and flip defense up. So you guys know, flipping is just basically you flip the status effect to the opposite. So you're going to flip defense up to defense down. So you know, that's what he does on his claw rake, which is his A1, his primary attack. And then in war, apply offense or defense down to primary target. The attack gains 500% extra focus. Wow. So 500% chance more on the focus, depending on what his focus is, to apply that, to flip the defense up to defense down, and then apply defense down to the primary target as well. Man. All right, so now going on to Thrash. Attack primary target for 390% damage, 60% piercing, ignores that defense, and apply defense down. Damn. So you're going to give them 50% defense down. So you're reducing their defense by 50% and reducing their resistance by 50%. And then of that 50%, you're ignoring it with that 60% piercing. Attack all adjacent targets for 280% damage and apply defense down. If Omega Red is an ally, it feels like I should be running Omega Red, Wolverine, and Sabretooth. This attack does an additional 60% piercing to each target. So this is, yeah, all adjacent targets. Okay, gotcha. Next, Blood Rush. Attack primary target for 330% damage. Apply bleeds for 2 turns. Rebound chain to 3 to 5 targets. That would be 5 to 6 targets once I get it up to level 7 for 300 damage. And apply bleed for 2 turns. If Omega Red is an ally, apply Disrupted to each. Hero Protector target. Oh, wow, that's pretty specific gate. And then gain a 1,000% extra focus for this action. Wow, multiply focus by 10, and that's what it's going to be like. So they're definitely applying this Disrupted, supposedly. And they're definitely applying that bleed. Let's go ahead and go to Disrupted. I'm pretty sure I know what Disrupted is, but I want to go ahead and just read it out. So, Disrupted. Additional positive effects cannot be applied to this character. And in my old game, that would just be like buff immunity. But additional, so that means that you can't. That character's not going to gain any regeneration. They're not going to gain any defense up, any offense up. They can't because they're disrupted. And then immunity would be the opposite of that, which I think you guys can pretty much guess. Additional negative status effects cannot be applied to this character. So there you go. Now let's go ahead and get back to Sabretooth's kit. Yeah, that's cool. Then Feral Healing. Gain plus 5% damage per Brother Blood mutant or Weapon X ally. So any mutant or Weapon X, that's what I'm, and I do have Brother Blood, the Brotherhood, Brotherhood. I do have the Brotherhood. If Mr. Sinister or Omega Red is an ally, gain plus 20% crit chance. I mean, that's not really that much versus all these other big numbers. In War, on spawn, if Wolverine is present, fill speed bar by 20%. Gain 15% chance to assist on a non-attack ability. 15% chance to assist on non-attack abilities per Marauder ally. So there's 30% if I have a Marauder. Okay, we like it. All right, that's the end of that. And then that would be an additional 25. It would be 25% and 25% for the non-attack abilities and for the Marauders. Once I get that up to level 5. Okay. I mean, this kit doesn't sound bad. Now, here's the other thing, too. Reading all these kits and everything is nice. Theoretically, you got to play test them to see how well they will perform. Like, for example, in the previous video, just a week ago that I made, I was all about loving some Beast. Beast was one of my favorite characters. But now, recently, using him as I progress through the game, I'm finding it harder and harder to use him, and I wish I could just keep using him. Now, we're going to go into Colossus. Colossus also has another nice little synergy with Wolverine. Let me see what his ISO 8 is looking like real quick. I don't know if I want to use this because I'm saving it for Icarus. So, and we won't get into any of that stuff right now. Now, Colossus. Attack primary target for 290% damage and apply defense down? Defense down. That's a D, right? We're going to say that's defense down. All right, so upgrade ability to, when I upgrade ability to level 7, that's 50% extra damage, so that'll be 340% damage. And then defense down goes on for 2 turns. I really want to see. I think it's defense down. I'm pretty sure. All right, so anyway, I'm going to make fun of their O's and D's until the end of time. I think I'm going to have to go to like another website and just copy paste this and then see what like Google Docs says this is, whether it's a D or an O. Anyway. See, I can tell this one, it says deflect. Okay. Wait, actually, am I being dumb right now? Defense, offense. Yeah, so offense. If there's an E after that, then of course it's defense. Offense down. He's applying offense down. I can't believe I have, for a guy like myself who loves Sherlock Holmes and Poirot books and all that other stuff, can't believe I missed that one. Anyway, apply offense down for 2 turns. We already know what offense down does. And actually, that makes me want to go back real quick, just to double check on all that other stuff. Was I doing it without realizing that I was doing it as I was reading? Yeah, let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. I know, I'm being dumb. I know, I know. Make fun of me. Y'all laughing at me. It's okay to laugh. Offense up. Yeah, okay, so I was saying offense up correctly. I was saying it correctly. Offense up. Okay, cool. Cool, 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 cool. All right, so, and I won't go back to Sabretooth because I don't care that much. All right, so, let's see here. Ring Dinger, that's the name of it? That's the name of the ability? Sure. All right, on to Altruism. Gain Taunt. I do use him as a taunter. Him and now Thanos. I'm using those two as taunters right now. As I'm still working through PvE content for the most part. And all those campaigns, I should say, because there's a lot of PvE content in this game. Gain Taunt, Gain Counter, apply to Deflect. See, that's a D because there's an E after it. It's not Oflect. To self. And X-Men allies. Apply Deflect to all other allies. If Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, or Magic, I would like to run Magic with Colossus. They're a good pairing. Is an ally. Gain Taunt for 2 turns instead of the 1 turn. Gain 2 counter instead of the 1 counter. Yeah, that's the 1 counter when I take it up to level 7. So what we're going to do right now is check out Counter and Deflect and see what those are. So Counter eels, where you at, Counter? It says Counter Attack, but I'm guessing that's Counter. Counter Attack upon being attacked by an enemy. So you're going to counter attack when an enemy hits you. The opposite of that is bleed. So if I have the counter attack buff and that gets flipped by Sabretooth, then it flips to bleed. Yo, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Why are you flipping my counter to bleeds, dog? That's not nice. Also, side note, death proof, which is character does not, because we spoke about death proof before. Character does not die with a hit that would normally kill them. Instead, the character survives with 1 HP left. When that is flipped to bleed as well, which seems to make sense. It does make sense, but I'm still like, man. So, yeah, that's counter. Now, let's go on to deflect. Deflect. Deflect, well, first of all, the opposite of deflect is bleed. So when that's flipped, when deflect is flipped, bleed. Whole lot of bleeding. Block the next attack. So it's just a straight up block. I thought deflect meant that it would go somewhere else just based on like definition of the word, but no, deflect is just straight up block the attack. All right, cool. Gotcha. So we have taunt, the counter. So if he gets hit, he's gonna hit you back. Apply to deflect to self. So even when, because here's the thing I have a question on. All right, when we go back up to counter, okay, counter attack when being attacked by an enemy. Now I'm reading this specifically because of the game experience, because it says when he's attacked, not when he takes damage. Because if he has deflect up, he's not going to take damage, but he is being attacked. So he should gain taunt, gain the counter. He's going to be attacked, but because of the deflect that he's gained, he's not going to take any damage, but he is going to counter because he's being attacked. That's what that deflect does, and then the deflect also applied to other allies, which we do love to see for 1 turn. I would love if that deflect was added to other allies for 2 turns. That'd be nice, but yeah, so that is Colossus's altruism ability. Then Enduring Protection. Increase duration of positive status effects on self by +2, up to a maximum of 5. Gain 2 death proof into charged, up to maximum of 5. Increase duration of positive effects on self by +3, up to 5. So it seems as though I want to open up with the A2, altruism, and then go to the Enduring Protection, the A3. So that way my status effects will last, when I take it up to level 7, but let's say just now, they'll last for 4 instead of 2 turns. Huh. And then if I increase it, it's going to go +3. Now this charged thing, give me a second because I got to get back to it. Charged. This character is charged. Yeah, okay. We're going to scroll down. We're going down. So basically, it makes his 3rd ability or ultimate have more damage. So his 3rd ability or his ultimate ability has more damage when it's charged. But the third ability is basically not a passive, but it's a it's not an active ability where you're attacking. So I wonder what they mean. I guess charge could also apply to the base ability because 2 of his abilities do not attack. It's all about protection. This is the ability that hits. Anyway, on to the passive. Steel form. On spawn, if charged, generate 1 ability energy for self, then clear charge. On spawn, if Phoenix or Magic is an ally, gain D with an E, defense up. Apply defense up to all Uncanny X-Men. Running with X-Men. Then, when a negative status effect is applied to an X-Man ally, gain +1 charge to a maximum of 5. While charged, when attacked, attack that enemy for 75% piercing. Up, see, there we go. For 75% piercing and plus 10% piercing per charge. So if I got 50%, if I have 5 charges, 50% plus piercing on top, so it's 125% piercing when he's fully charged up on that counterattack. Okay, cool. We like to see it. We definitely like to see it. All right, so now next up, and I'm wondering, I said this might have to be a 2-parter, but it might be that I can cover all these debuffs, especially if I'm doing like the flip stuff, in just one video, hopefully. All right, so here we go. Magic. I'm selecting Magic now because she has a synergy with Colossus, and I do run them together fairly often. So, go ahead and go through the kit. Soul Sword Strike. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 180% piercing and clear 2 random positive effects. 50% chance plus 50% piercing to primary target and secondary targets. So that would be 230% piercing to begin with. So you guys know, Colossus as well, but also Magic, they don't hit for anything. They hit for no damage. And actually what I might do when I get done with these buffs is go back through their damage and their health. I wish there was a way for me to like just outright compare them, like just pull up one and the other and like just compare them directly in the game. I'm sure there's plenty of websites that do it. I just haven't done that kind of research yet. Anyway, Demonic Might. Attack all enemies, 225% piercing, and flip immunity. So now when we flip immunity, that goes, I can't remember, it goes to disrupt. That's right. So immunity is basically you cannot get any other negative status effects. However, that'll be flipped into disrupted, which means that you can't get any additional positive status effects. So that is how that goes. You want to flip the immunity. You're going to flip the immunity. Reduce the speed bar of the primary target by 30%. So turn, well, speed bar here, turn meter, whatever you want to call it. This manipulation, I love manipulating turn meters and speed bars because if you can, that and stun. So to me, one of my general rules is just that the best buff in any game is going to be stun because you can't hurt me if you're unconscious. And the other thing I like is manipulating turn meter, speed bars, all that stuff because it gives me more times to hit you before you get to hit me. So I think those are like 2 of the most powerful things in any kind of game of this nature, any kind of turn-based attack game. Apply +5 charge up to 20 to self and all chargeable Uncanny X-Men. That is on the A2. So I could go ahead and give that 5 to Colossus because he has a max of 5 to Colossus at the very beginning, so long as I use the A2 from Magic. I like that. I like that a lot. Now, we move on to Limbo Strike. Clear Disrupted from self and all allies, which we already know what Disrupted is. Attack primary target for 350% damage and 25% drain. Now, drain, I don't know. I think drain is like it drains 25% of the opponent's health, and then you heal yourself with that. This attack is unavoidable and cannot be blocked. Let's see. Oh, actually, and you guys on your website don't have the drain effect on there. Oh, no, drain is here. It just doesn't give you a definition of it. Those are other effects. Okay. Forgive me, but I'm going to do this right now. I thought it was all going to be here, but it's not. Marvel Strike Force. Drain effect. All right, so let's just go ahead and do it. So, drain Drains the health. Ooh, why'd you move? Why'd you move? I didn't ask you to move. Drain heals you for the amount of damage you do. So basically what it seems like, logically speaking. So she drains 25% and she's going to get that 25% as a heal. All right. I like Magic, actually. I like her a lot. And this is the thing. I'm still like relatively new in the game. I'm not that kind of expert. You see me doing my research and development right now. You see me trying to figure out large parts of the game with you guys. Hopefully you find it enjoyable. Charged up to a maximum of 20. If that ally is Colossus or Kitty Pryde, instead gain +3 charged up to a maximum of 20. Yep, there we go. Why is it scrolled down? Okay. On spawn, bury yourself and apply all X-Men allies for 30% of this character's max health. I like that. I want to kind of go check that now. What is this? What is this? What is this? What is your max health right now? 30%. So that means that if we, 46, 69. So that you'll have a 69% or 69,000 barrier. See how it was already halfway down? On spawn, I give everyone a barrier of 60,000 with her current health now. All X-Men allies and herself. When an enemy attacks an X-Men ally, gain 2 charge up to a maximum of 20. If that ally is Colossus or Kitty Pryde, instead gain 3 charge up to a maximum of 20. So she's going to give Colossus shield. He's the taunter now. He's going to counter when he gets hit. He's given everybody defense up, I believe is what it was, or offense up. I can't remember which one. And then if he's attacked, or when he's attacked, now Magic is going to get 3 charge up to a maximum of 20. I like that. They work together really well, supposedly. At the end of any turn, if this character has 20 or more charged, attack the enemy with the highest damage for 400% damage, then lose all charge. So at the end of any turn, if she has 20 charged or more, which makes me think like you want to put characters that charged around her. Attack the enemy with the highest damage. So the one who's going to hit you the hardest, she's going to hit them 400% damage. Then you lose all the charge. I think I said this before, but I'll say it now. Like Magic doesn't really hit for a lot of damage. Like she's not a damage dealer. She's not designed for that. And she's support actually, or she's support. So like she's not designed for damage. Can she do damage? I guess maybe a little bit, but you're not bringing her in because you want damage. You're bringing her in for the support for everybody else. So that is Magic, and I'm curious about some of the passive, or not the passive abilities, but some of the synergies that she had going on with Colossus. Now we have the health here and the damage. So if I remember Wolverine's damage correctly, it was like 36,000. She has 20. Let me go back up. Now to be fair also, my Wolverine is 6-star. Oh wait, no, he's 6-star, 4 red stars. She has 4 red stars as well. Level 80, level 80. They're both tier 14. He has, he has like 2 more pieces, 2 more gear. Even their ISO 8s are relatively similar. Anyway, so I guess that's a good comparison for their damage and their health. So the damage is 20,000, the health is 234,000, and the armor is 16,000. Then you have here 26,000, 303,000, 11,000 armor. So not that much health, a lot of armor in terms of reduces incoming damage, and then the damage is 6,000 less. Okay. So she is doing approximately 25%, not 20% less damage than Wolverine. But in any case, all right, so I think that was helpful. I mean, hopefully it was helpful for you guys, but it was very helpful for me. Let's go ahead and go back to these other status effects and just see. So right now it is ability block, assist now, bleed, blind, charge, counterattack, death proof, defense down, defense up, deflect, evade. So there's other debuffs that I want to go through actually. And right now the video seems like it's going to be kind of long. Checking the time right now. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to go get myself a coffee real quick. If you guys are new to my channel, the guys who are the old heads, the old school, my day ones, they know I drink way too much coffee. So I'm going to go get a coffee right now. I'm going to end this video, and then I'm going to go ahead and start part 2 of this video. Don't know when I'm going to release it, but be on the lookout for part 2 of Status Effects. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, please subscribe. If you don't like it, hit subscribe and hit dislike. I'm okay with that as well. See you guys next time.